as relaxation, a respite from a life that was full of privation. But today, there are so many distractions, so much to occupy one's time, so much out there that dazzles the eye and the imagination. And yet, people will rise at 5 a.m. or begin at 11 p.m. To do what? To study a text written more than 1,500 years ago in a difficult language, which is intellectually challenging with many arcane subjects. And this has to compete with other pursuits that seem so much more alluring. They will do this in planes and on trains and in buses. They will do this during chasanas waiting for the chuppah. They will do this in doctor offices and in supermarket checkout lines. They and their wives and their family and their children will bend their schedules to make this happen. Why? How do we explain the inexplicable? Perhaps it's because people realize that Torah is real and everything else, no matter how dazzling, is just fake. The Pasuk describes Matan Torah as the Rebbeinu Shalom speaking to Klal Yisrael, Koil Gadol V'lo Yosef, a mighty voice below Yosef. Rashi says that the word V'lo Yosef means that the voice never stopped. But where is that voice? Have you heard it? My good friend Rabbi Yaakov Luban told me that he heard from his Rebbe, Rebbe Yisvei, who heard from his Rebbe, Rebbe Kotler, that voice is the voice of the Rebbeinu Shalom talking to the man, to the Torah. And when one Yid learns Torah, he still hears the reverberation of the Rebbeinu Shalom speaking to man. That is the power of Limud HaTorah. That is how the daf competes and the daf trumps. Because it is the real thing, and everything else is just fake. It is the power of the authenticity of Torah. And we're hearing another voice today. The Medrash says on Rabbi Shmuel ben Leivi, B'chol yoyim v'yoyim baskol yitzaz mihar chayrev v'yimeras oilehem lebrios me'elbayne shel Torah, that every day a heavenly voice bemoans the fact that ye are not learning enough. Well, have you ever heard that Pascal? If you're like most people, you will answer, no, I haven't. But in truth, we've all heard that Pascal, albeit faintly. The Baal Shem Tov was said that Pascal is the Herhurei Tshuva, the thoughts of Tshuva that we have from time to time. When we think, I really should be learning more, or I'm really wasting my time with this. That is that Pascal. But sometimes it's too fleeting. It's too faint. And we squelch it. And we quash it. And we ignore it. But today, sitting here among 90,000 people, we do hear that Pascal. It's the clarion call that emanates from this stadium that shouts, learn more! We can't say we don't hear it. We hear it loud and clear. And today we cannot squelch it. Today we must respond. And today we must leave here with a plan. If you never learned the Daf Yomi, then tomorrow is the day to start. If this is your second or third time finishing Shas, then you must ask yourself, how am I going to do better next time around? Maybe go to a Shir Iyun once a week on the Sugi of the Daf. Maybe learn the Daf in the morning and go to Shir Chazar at night. Maybe be so bold as to take tests on the Daf.
Wow.
And if you can't learn a Daf a day, then make it an Omid a day, or a Daf of Mishnah Brewer a day, or a Mishnah a day, but something a day. But we must respond to that baskol that we can no longer ignore and leave here with a plan. And that was the message that Rav Nosson Tzvi shared with a Yid named Rav Nachum Stillerman. Mr. Stillerman, after retiring, moved to Eretz Yisrael in honor of his 70th birthday. He finished Masechta Shabbos, an accomplishment he proudly shared with Rav Nosson Tzvi Finkel. Rav Nosson Tzvi congratulated him, but told him that that's not enough. Go back and figure out a plan how you could finish Shas. He came back with a printout and figured out that by learning 10 hours a day, it would take him 23 years to finish Shas. Rav Nosson Tzvi's reaction was, now that's a plan. Mr. Silliman, however, had a different reaction. I'll be 93 by the time I finish. How can I undertake a plan that I cannot possibly finish? Rav Nosson Tzvi Finkel, by then afflicted with debilitating Parkinson's disease for more than 28 years, struggled mightily from his seat. And while shaking, he reached under the tablecloth and pulled out more of his plans for the expansion of the Mir Yeshiva. And he turned to Mr. Stillerman and he asked him, and do you think I can do what I'm doing? Look at me! But he had a plan. And that's what he demanded from Mr. Stillerman. A plan. And that's what's demanded from us today. A plan. And if it sometimes seems beyond our kaiches, all we have to do is picture in our mind's eye Rav Nosson Tzvi Finkel. Mr. Stillerman once had another conversation with Rav Nosson Tzvi. Years earlier, Rav Nosson Tzvi had commented to Mr. Stillerman incredulously that maybe his Parkinson's disease was an einish, a punishment for not learning Torah Lishma. Wow. Mr. Stillerman sometime later offered a different approach as to why the Rashiva have to suffer, based on Yerushalmi Masechta Huriyas. Yerushalmi says in Masechta Huriyas that when Moshe Rabbeinu learned Torah on Har Sinai from the Rebbeinu Shalom, he would forget immediately what he learned. Until at the end, the Rebbeinu Shalom had to give him the entire Torah as a gift. But why did Moshe have to suffer and endure this frustrating experience of learning and forgetting and learning and forgetting and learning and forgetting? Says the Yerushalmi, Kol kach lama lahachziras hatipshim, so that people who forget their learning won't give up and say, what's the use? It's an exercise in futility, I forget anyway. Moshe Rabbeinu provides the counter-argument. Mr. Silliman suggested that maybe the Rashiva had to suffer from his illness to provide living proof that one can learn even if it's difficult. Like the man I heard about 2 nights ago, who was a member of a Dafyomi in Brooklyn, but in the middle of the cycle became blind. But he would go to the daf every day in spite of his blindness. He was the first to come and the last to leave to learn real Torah Sheba'al Peh. When Nosson Tzvi leaned over, kissed Mr. Stillerman, and quoting the Gemara in the Masechta Makos, he told him, Akiva nichamtanu, Akiva nichamtanu, you have comforted me. In our generation, we had a Rav Nosson Tzvi Finkel, an American-born boy, raised in Chicago, Illinois, a graduate of Erie Crown Day School, who became a Gadol Yisrael. Most of us will never become a Rav Nosson Tzvi Finkel, but he taught us all something, even if we never stepped here in the Mir Yeshiva. He taught us never to give up. He taught us not to say, this is too hard. He taught us to always have a plan. He taught us to aim higher. He taught us to reach beyond. And he taught us that beyond your reach is really within your grasp.